All right, welcome in for our next review session here at the end of Module 3. We did a first review, which is more of a general review. This one is tailored a little bit more towards the work that we're going to be doing here leading up to the assessment. So this sort of lines right up with those review papers that we've been doing and things like that. So let's take a look at 3 sample problems. Pay close attention. These are similar to ones on the assessment. And I tell you that not because I want you to just specifically prepare for the test, but these are concepts that we've been working on recently, and these are good problems to cover those sorts of things. So let's take a look. This by no means does this cover everything on the exam, or not exam, but assessment, but it does touch on the major highlights. It says Declan and his 3 friends go to a game together. If the tickets cost $7 each, how much do they spend altogether? With that, you should write an equation. Usually an assessment will ask you for that. Now, the key to this is the first line. Declan and his 3 friends. Whenever you get a question like this, you need to think about how many total people are. There's 3 friends. There's also Declan, so there's 4 people altogether. 4 people times $7 each equals C for cost. 4 times 7 is $28. So 28 equals C. They spend $28. That part's straightforward if you can remember to count the number of people correctly. A big mistake is people will look at the number, like literally look at the number in the problem and say 3 times 7. They'll just look at the number. But you need to pay close attention to the fact that Declan also counts towards that total group because he's also going to the game. So make sure you include everybody that's involved in the problem. In 3rd grade, we have a lot of problems like that. Again, it's not only checking your math, but it's checking your ability to follow directions and read directions carefully. The second part over on the right says, if Declan gets a hot dog and a water, while each of his 3 friends gets a pretzel, how much money do they spend? Write an equation with a letter to represent the unknown. And so let's put a price list over here. So, game prices are usually pretty high. So a pretzel is going to be $6. That's one expensive pretzel. Hot dog equals $4, and a water equals $3. So I'm going to take some notes here. What does Declan get? Oops, sorry, Declan, I didn't write your name right there. Declan equals hot dog HD plus W. So he's getting a $4 hot dog plus a $3 water. Friends, each of them is getting the same thing, and they're all just getting a pretzel for $6. But there are 3 friends. That's important. So when we go to do this, I'll switch to black for this part. We have 3 friends, each getting a pretzel. 3 times 6. Plus, so this is all 3 friends each get a pretzel. Excuse the terrible handwriting there, but I wanted to scribble a quick note so you know what that part represented. Plus $7 for Declan because he spent a total of $7 equals F for food. Then you'd solve and say 3 times 6 is 18 plus 7 equals F. F equals $25. So again, take your time. Take some notes if you need to on problems like that. Again, it's as much about reading comprehension and understanding what you need to do as it is about actually solving the problem, like using math strategies to solve the problem. All right, this is a common type of problem that we can work on. It says Declan goes into the gift shop and sees that there's a sale. Figure out the pattern and solve for the missing price. So there's these things that something costs $30 originally. This is like the original price. This is the sale price. So if something cost $30 originally, now it's on this huge sale for only $6. Or if something cost $20 originally, it's on sale for $4. If something costs $15, now it's on sale for $3. And if something costs $45, we don't know yet. We're trying to figure that out. P is the variable there. Don't get to a problem like this and panic and be like, I don't know what to do. What you need to do is figure out the pattern. Like, what is happening to 30 to turn it into a 6? What happens to 20 to turn it into a 4? So, like, what is happening? Either multiplying or divide, because that's what we're working on this unit. Use those clues to the prices. Another way you could think of it is um, if we're going from a original price to a sale price and the price is going down, then we're going to be dividing. If we're going from a lower price to a higher price, then we're going to be multiplying. So you could also look at, like, what do I need to multiply this 3 by to turn it into a 15? What do I need to multiply the 4 by to get a 20? Or what do I need to divide the 20 by to get a 4? Well, the pattern here is 30 divided by 5 is 6, 20 divided by 5 is 4, and 15 divided by 5 is 3. So when we get over here, we take what we've been dividing by and we do it to the 45. Whoops, I wrote it backwards. 45. So we have 45 divided by 5 equals P. In this case, 9 equals P, because 9 times 5 is 45. So the way I think of that is I think of what times 5 is 45, and the answer to that is 9. So the key to this is looking at what's happening to these numbers. At first, they're just going to look like a bunch of random numbers, but I promise you that there is something in common with them. It's either multiplication or division that's happening to them to turn them from one thing to the other. And once you figure that, whatever that is out, you just apply it to whatever the last thing is. And that's how we solve problems like that. And lastly, our sample problems here today in our second half of our review, and that this is the second video. We already did one. After the game, Declan buys some baseball cards. He buys 8 packs and each has 9 cards. Wyatt buys 2 packs, but each comes with 4 sets of 9 cards. Do the boys have the same amount? Show how the equations are equal. So we want to know, do they have the same amount? Couple ways you can do this. Or one way you could do it, but you can explain it in a couple of different ways. Mr. Brunel's talking too much. Let's just do some math. I'm going to solve both of these first. So let's do the first one. 8 times 9 equals 72. Okay. And then I'm going to solve 2 times 4 times 9 equals, well, I'm going to do that first. Look at that. It turns into 8 times 9 is also 72. That's not dollars. It's number of cards. Sorry. We don't want them spending $72 on cards. So once I've solved it over there, then I come back over here and I say, the 8 times 9 is really the same as 2 times 4 times 9. Or you also can put parentheses in there to make that an 8 times a 9. And then you'd need to write something. Like you can think of the 8 in 8 times 9 as 2 times 4. Or you can multiply the 2 times the 4 first on the right side of the equation, or the right side of this, and turn that into an 8 and see the 8 times 9 ends up being on the right side just like it is on the left side. So this is a situation where you're going to take one of the factors and break it apart, decompose it in some way, or insert parentheses somewhere in an equation to do a part first and show how that turns something with 3 steps or 3 numbers being multiplied together into something where just 2 numbers are being multiplied together. And sometimes these turn out to be true and sometimes they turn out to be false. Like, for example, if I had done 8 times 9 equals 6 times 2 times 9, well, If I multiply the 6 times the 2 together first, I get 12 times 9. And does that equal 8 times 9? No, it does not, which is why I put a line through that. So sometimes they're true, sometimes they're false. I don't want you to think that they're always true. It's just been so far that the ones that we've done in class as review and this one happen to be true, but they aren't always true. Sometimes they turn out not to be. All right, guys, we've spent a number of days reviewing, and I'm hoping you're feeling comfortable with this material. You've done a good job this unit, and please ask me if you have any questions, but I'm feeling confident that you guys are ready to finish up this unit and move on to our fourth module here. We're going to talk about some area and perimeter. All right, guys, I'll talk to you in class.